2025 is turning out to be just a tremendous year for fish room additions. And I want to thank all of you out there who have supported the channel and hung in there with me through the ups and downs, and are following me on this journey of adding dream fish to my fish room. In some cases, it was very long, kind of a long path to get there, but it is finally coming together. Now, I think it might have been 24 that I added the redhead topahos, but I want to just include them in this video because they've been such a great addition to the fish room. They're so much fun. They really are like just a group of puppy dogs that are always at the front of the glass, always there to greet me, and have just been a real fun addition to the fish room. And now that they're growing out and starting to show color, it's just phenomenal. So I'm really enjoying those fish. Those are the redhead topahos. That's a geophagus that I picked up from Josh over at Cunningham Tropicals, a sponsor. He's like a sponsor of the channel. Also, in the tank behind me, from my friend Josh, there's gonna be several fish here from Josh. I have the gar, a Malawi gar. I had a Malawi gar before that was absolutely stunning, and unfortunately he kind of, he kind of lived his life, and eventually I lost him. And now I have one that I think is going to be blossoming into a beautiful, beautiful fish. He's the runt of the tank right now, but not being really gone after or attacked at all by the other fish. If you have a cichlid tank, an African cichlid tank, and you don't have a Malawi gar, get one. Their shape, their behavior, and ultimately their color is just great, just phenomenal. So highly recommended a Malawi gar. Probably what some of you would consider the sort of crown jewel of 2025. And certainly it's been a big step for me in preparation, in study and research, getting ready for it, and then ultimately getting it, has got to be the addition of discus fish to the fish room. Again, a big shout out to Josh. I've got 10 beautiful discus, a wide variety of I've got some snake skins in there. I've got a melon. I've got just some beautiful varieties, and I'm growing them out currently in a 55-gallon. Eventually, I'm going to have to put them in something bigger. I think the 90-gallon, or maybe pick up a whole new tank, something wide and tall, that will really just really kind of display the beauty and the grace of discus fish. And I'm just really enjoying these little guys. They let me hand feed them. They attack my hand. They get basically inside my hand when I feed them, and it's just they're just a great batch of fish. So discus, definitely a highlight of 2025. And last two fish that I'll talk with you about, which if you follow the channel, you know, I just recently picked up from Snake River and Snake River Cichlids. They're not a sponsor. These fish were purchased retail, but they sent me two very nice fish, and that is a sand diver. Again, another one of my favorite all-time African cichlids, and they're just like big kids, in the aquarium. They just kind of hang around and don't really get into it much with others. I don't think I've ever had one that was aggressive. They're a little bit like a Buccochromis notitania. They just want to swim around, and they be left alone, and they leave you alone. They just want to be left alone, but they're just kind of a cool fish with a very interesting behavior of actually hiding in the sand. If they ever get really startled, all you'll see is a fin and an eye. They'll go all the way under, and for people that have kept them, you know what I'm talking about. If they've ever gotten startled, you got to dig them out. I even have a short video. I have a video short on catching one of them when he did a dive into the sand. I've had them over the years. They've different Different ones have blossomed differently and taken on different colors. Like many cichlids, their lifespan isn't incredibly long, especially if you buy them already large. They've already lived probably half their life, but the time that you have them, you'll really enjoy a sand diver. And also, every cichlid tank should have a giraffe. Every cichlid tank should have a Venusis. They can be aggressive. They can get big and bulky. The last one I had was a runt, and didn't really overall didn't really do that good. I think it might have been just genetics and a genetics issue. If you have what some people call predator haps, or just if you have haps, definitely have a Venusis in there, and sometimes a Livingstoni, a polystigma, definitely a Fusco. Fuscos are beautiful, but a Venusis, because of the different colors it brings to the table, that green and that pattern is very unique among the Lake Malawi cichlids, and so adding a Venusis and of course adding that sand diver are just great additions. Now I'm looking for that Autopharynx tetrastigma, and maybe a Johnsoni, maybe picking up a Johnsoni, a Plastidochromos. They used to be called Johnsoni Solos. Not sure if they're called Johnsoni Solos anymore, but that's another one that's on the list I'd like to add. Even though they're Plastidochromos, they do tend to get along okay in a larger, half tank. At least that's been my history. Beautiful fish. But for now, my eye is on an Autopharynx tetrastigma, and I have a friend of the channel named Brandon who has been breeding them, and it looks like him and I might be able to work something out to get an Autopharynx tetrastigma into the fish room. So that's on the horizon, and I'll probably coordinate it so that when the sand diver and the Venusis come out of quarantine, I can go ahead and pick up that Autopharynx and use one of those tanks as the quarantine tank to get him through his 30 days of quarantine. I'm pretty sure I'm going to run these two, the sand diver and the Venusis, through 30 days of quarantine, but they're looking so good. They're both eating well now, and they've got great color and activity. I might even move them over after about 20-25 days. They always blossom and are much happier when they get into a bigger tank with company, with other fish. So that might, we'll see how I'm feeling about it. On the one hand, I don't like to cut quarantine short. On the other hand, if the fish is obviously very healthy, very robust, and shows absolutely zero signs of anything wrong, sometimes I might bring them over a little earlier. So far, 2025 has been a real, just a great year for fish room, fish additions. Any fish that you think I need to add to the fish room, anything you think would look good in, for example, the 210 gallon. I haven't added a fish to that tank for a while. I kind of don't want to mess with what's working. They're all kind of getting along. There's no one going after anybody, but any fish that you think I should consider, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it, and we can also talk about it during the Saturday Cichlids and Coffee live stream. That's every Saturday at 11 a.m. Central. That's 9 a.m. Pacific, and noon Eastern. I also want to thank those who make a lot of these changes in the fish room possible, and those are my Patreon supporters. Thank you to all of you who are Patreons. If you'd like to support the channel that way, the details are in the description. Starts for as little as $3 a month. Now, if you'd like to see the best tips that I have for fish keeping, check out this playlist up here. And if you'd like to support the channel, just hit me in the mug up there, and that will tell YouTube something good's going on and get them to suggest the channel to other fish keepers out there around the world. Okay, thank you for tuning in, my friends. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.